Introducing to you first on my left, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim. He is fighting out of Bronx, New York, by way of Accra, Ghana. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. His record stands at 30 wins, 1 defeat, 1 no contest, with 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBO number 6 welterweight contender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger, introducing Joshua Clottey. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing maroon trunks with silver trim, hailing from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 147 pounds. His record, 33 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 7th defense of his title, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBO welterweight champion of the world, known as the Tijuana Tornado, introducing Antonio Margarito. Once again, a referee in charge, Benji Esteves, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing scheduled.
Watch Joe put a cue before the fight starts.
Take the headband off.
Bring him together.
Give me a sec. Let's clear it out. Let's clear them out.
Come on, guys.
Okay, man, I'm going to repeat my instructions. Voy a repetir mis instrucciones. I want a nice, clean match. Una pelea limpia. Protect yourself at all times. Te protege durante el combate todo el tiempo. I want to wish you both luck. El deseo suerte a los dos. Denme un touch. Óigame, súbele el cinturón un poquito.
Intriguing matchup. Neither guy will back down. Busy, high volume Antonio Margarito, not the most technically gifted, but a very exciting brawling style. Typically a slow starter who breaks you down. The physical, accurate Joshua Clottey, who really commits to the body, often comes in perilously with his head. And be mindful that Margarito has had issues with cuts. Will Clottey jump on the champion, knowing he doesn't start fast? Plus, Clottey has been known to fatigue in the late rounds. But watch out for those rough house tactics for Joshua Clottey in the blue. Margarito in the maroon. Clottey says his defense will solve the Margarito puzzle. He'll block a lot of punches, and Margarito throws a lot of punches. He wants to get inside and dig to Margarito's body. Margarito usually comes forward in ultra-aggressive fashion, but tonight we wonder if he'll be more cautious. And being the taller guy with the longer reach, should he give himself more room to throw, as Al pointed out earlier? But what if his warrior mentality kicks in? This could get very messy.
There's Clottey with the left hook early on. It's a punch that would be very important for him. And remember, you mentioned not much time spent in the ring this year by Antonio Margarito. And you can spar all you want. It's not the same as being in the ring.
Only 2 fights in 20 months for Antonio Margarito. And as mentioned, not normally a torrid starter, but it only took him 74 seconds to take out his last opponent, a faded Manuel Gomez, in February, a statement-like punch-out.
You see Clottey on the outside. He is very good at keeping his hands high. You must do that against Margarito. Now, he doesn't want to stay on the outside, but while Clottey is there, defending that way will help you.
And Al, as you know, Margarito has a superb uppercut in either hand. That was very effective in his last fight. But you got to go back to 2001 for his previous first-round knockout.
Joshua Clottey is getting the left hand in on the inside very well early in this fight. He landed an uppercut. He landed a couple of short left hooks. When he gets inside the jab of Margarito, he's already making some good things happen. And you see Margarito wanting very much to use the jab to keep him at bay. He said, that's the punch that will give me my punching distance.
Clottey, a precision puncher. Good shot to the side of Margarito's body there by Clottey. He is fundamentally sound, Clottey. Ring smart. Keeps his hands high, his elbows tucked in, as you can see. Very tight, responsible type defense. Good chin. Clottey, a good counter puncher. It's very nice all-around skills.
You know, Margarito throwing the jab out there. Almost all of those blocked. But, of course, they're rangefinders. He wants to get that big right hand in.
There was that left uppercut by Margarito, but blocked by Clottey. Clottey's never been stopped. As mentioned, the only loss to DQ to Baldomir. Many thought that was a questionable stoppage.
5 seconds. 5 segundos.
As we head for the bell in the opening round.
Time. Take your time, baby. Take your time.
When he can get inside, Joshua Clottey is able to do things like this. He gets inside, and you'll see that uppercut come right through the middle of the defense of Antonio Margarito. Very nice punch, and that plus some short left hooks, very effective. You see a look at it on the inside. It didn't land perfectly, but it could be a portent of things to come.
He's alive. He's alive. You got to keep moving around. Don't save your rights. Okay. You got that straight? Okay. Use intelligence. Use intelligence and have control.
Felix de Jesus with the translation. Margarito has been down 3 times in his career. 38 fights all told. The last time was in '99 versus Danny Perez. Also went down against Miguel Gonzalez. But the one I know that was of concern to you was Juan Soberanes in '96.
Because he knocked him down with a body shot. And those are the kind of punches that Clottey will hit Margarito with. So that's a significant one.
That was right to the liver. Should point out, though, Margarito came back off the canvas to win all 3. Margarito to the body, then upstairs. The upstairs shot was blocked. Now he goes to the body. His body shots are more successful, Margarito. But when he goes upstairs, they're being blocked.
Margarito is getting countered. There's a left hook by Clottey. Margarito has to be very careful when he throws that right hand not to be countered by the hook.
And there's a nice right hand, a right cross that connected by Clottey.
Things are heating up here. This is already a fun match. And, you know, I talked about location. This battle is being waged on the inside. That's all to the good for Joshua Clottey.
Margarito has won 3 straight, all by knockout. Undefeated at 147 in his last 25 fights dating back to '96. His only loss in the last 10. Another good right hand by Clottey. 10 years when he moved up to 154 against Daniel Santos.
You know, I would understand Clottey landing these left hooks, but the right hand is getting through a little bit to Margarito, too. That's got to be a little worrisome to Margarito's corner.
Nice lunging left hand there by Clottey. He does have a tendency to lunge in, Clottey, which could work to his disadvantage with a guy like Margarito. You're supposed to work your way in, jab your way in, but he's getting his way here.
That's a triple left hook by Clottey. Now, with all this good work by Joshua Clottey early in this fight, we did tell you that Margarito sometimes takes a couple rounds to get going, and he is so dangerous as a puncher. But Clottey has got to like the way rounds 1 and 2 have gone for him.
And then Clottey able to look pretty good off the ropes just a second ago, which is perhaps something he learned from Azuma Nelson, who was so successful with that against Jeff Fennick in his 2 fights. And there's a beautiful double left hook to the body and head by Clottey. The ref, Benji Estevez, telling Clottey to get the punches up. Of course, he is notorious for low blows, headbutts, and holding.
He was penalized in his fight against Gutierrez for low blows.
I thought a lot of that was out of retaliation, but he does have a reputation of doing that.
No punching behind the head, Tony. I got him. No punching behind the head. Okay.
Well, they'll speak a combination of God and English.
If you go inside, you got advantage. When you start from left and with the right.
Here is Margarito using the jab, but taking in return a counter right and a counter left hand by Clottey. And see how the distance between these two men. Here's Clottey ripping the left hook. It's actually a triple left hook. Now, 2 of the 3 landed, but the idea is the right thing. That's what Clottey's supposed to be doing. So from a technical and strategic standpoint, Steve, Clottey's doing what he needs to do.
Meanwhile, Margarito getting a warning from Benji Estevez, third man of the ring, for hitting to the back of the head. So there's a reversal. Usually it's Clottey who is being warned.
Keep him up, Tony.
There's a punch a little bit low by Margarito. Now, Margarito's a very good body puncher himself, so he wants to go downstairs to the body. It's important for him to do that as well.
Margarito missing wildly with that right hand. But as we said earlier, Margarito takes a while to get going. He is not a fast starter, so you never know. Don't be misled here. There's a good right hand by Margarito.
Margarito is true to his word, using his jab a lot. It just isn't landing that much, but it is being used to set up the right hands, which occasionally are getting in.
But look at this work rate all of a sudden by Margarito. It has picked up considerably. Oh, there's a right hand that Margarito just walked into.
Let's see how much that impacted Margarito.
He left himself wide open after throwing, and Clottey made him pay after Margarito missed. And there's a right uppercut on the inside by Clottey that scored.
Clottey was very emphatic. He said defensively, Margarito does not slip punches well. I'm going to hit him, and he is.
2 headline fighters with vulnerabilities, which makes you believe we could be in for some surprises tonight.
This is already a fascinating and interesting and I think exciting fight. Good body work by Margarito.
Indeed, as Margarito tries to dig out of a hole here in the early going. We approach 1 minute remaining in round 3, scheduled for 12. Clottey to the body, to the head with the right hand, continues to connect. And now the crowd getting behind the underdog. A left hook by Clottey that scored.
The defensive liabilities of Margarito are rearing their ugly head, and maybe rust has something to do with this as well.
His first fight in 10 months, and his last fight only went 1 minute 14. And he's not getting any younger. So that catches up to you. These are wide, sweeping, looping punches by Margarito. Let's see if Clottey can counter on the inside.
Margarito's been able to get through these technical issues because of his power, but tonight, so far, is a different story. We'll see if that continues.
There's that uppercut, followed by a right by Margarito. But there's not a lot of steam behind those punches. Another big round for the challenger.
You're not thinking. The defense is up. His defense is up. You gotta work the body. You gotta work the body. You gotta relax. You're really not in tune. You gotta use your jab. Gotta use the jab.
Joshua Clottey has worked his way into positions where he can land punches on the inside. Now, those were kind of wild, but there's the right hand. Half uppercut, half straight right. That really stunned Margarito early in the round. It was a counter punch by Clottey. Even though Margarito lands that right hand, here's Clottey getting that counter punch in. A solid right hand that I think momentarily stunned Margarito.
Margarito out of sync, careless. You have to wonder in his mind if he is beginning to get discouraged. It's round 4.
Now, the point is, with his power, he's always dangerous in a fight. And even those first 3 rounds, there might be a round in there that somebody might give to Antonio Margarito. But still, this is not going the way Margarito would like it to go. And Clottey's doing several very intelligent things. Look at how he wraps up Margarito when he thinks things are getting out of hand.
Another good right hand by Clottey. Looks over to the ref, claims he was hit low. That was a 4-5 punch combination by Joshua Clottey.
And one of the left hands very low, but he doesn't get a warning from Estefan.
Well, Clottey's reputation, unfortunately for him, precedes him.
Yeah. Oh, wow, is he ripping those hooks? Clottey is fighting a textbook fight in terms of strategy.
Yeah, you said he's got to get inside and dig those shots to the body, and he's doing just that. There's an uppercut to the chin by Clottey. Margarito trying to counter to the body. That's what they want him to do. Another shot by Clottey.
This is the wrong place for Margarito to be, languishing on the inside.
Well, Clottey thought that Margarito might be looking ahead, looking past him. He said that to Jim Gray in the interview earlier.
In the corner, we heard them say to Margarito, his hands are so high, you've got to go to the body to get those hands low. Margarito is not doing that in this round. He's still concentrating on the head.
Clottey's showing his hand speed as well. It has been a rough start for the champion, Antonio Margarito. A short, crisp uppercut on the inside by Clottey, and he is wisely throwing those uppercuts on the inside. You don't want to throw those from too far out.
You're right about that.
So Clottey is so far fighting a textbook fight.
Margarito's been very active. You know, he's thrown a lot of punches, as you pointed out. They just haven't been as effective as he would like. And most of them blocked or some missed, and mostly body work's been good for him when he's done it. Another good left hook by Clottey on the inside.
Clottey is just more accurate, more precision. He's been a sharpshooter here, while Margarito has been wild with his punches. Now Clottey comes back with a straight right hand that sends Margarito back. Now Margarito comes forward, but once again it's Clottey with the upper hand.
And Margarito squaring himself up to Clottey, which he sometimes does. Now they bang heads there, but don't blame Clottey for that one. They were both in there.
Margarito very upset now. And Margarito does have a history of cutting.
You gotta watch your head in there, okay? There's no cut. Both of you.
He's breaking down. He's breaking down. You felt him a little breaking down, huh? But you are still missing a lot. You're still missing a lot. You gotta look for the control. Look for the holes. Look for the holes. Look for the holes to hit him. Lock downstairs.
It was a rough and tumble round. There were punches that strayed low. There's one that was on the belt line by Margarito, and Clottey complaining. There were heads banging together. Now, they both bang heads there, and Clottey did kind of tip his head down at that moment, but they both not happy with the result of that.
When we say this could develop into a messy affair, it's doing just that now.
Keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. Limpio.
Round 5, scheduled for 12 for the WBO welterweight championship. The champion is Antonio Margarito in the maroon with the silver trim, and wearing the blue with the white trim is the challenger Joshua Clottey. And so far, it has been Joshua Clottey's night.
Margarito is himself closing the distance between himself and Clottey. Look at as he comes in. He is himself putting himself in punching range. He can punch from the outside without falling in. He's falling in, and he's going to give Clottey a chance to land something.
And the tough Clottey shaking his head as Margarito comes in. But Clottey saying, you're not hurting me. Trying to discourage Margarito even more. These are pulling punches now by Margarito. Not a lot of effect.
Margarito is certainly winning this round because he's the only one doing the punching. But the question is, are any of these punches affecting Clottey? We'll see.
Clottey has just decided to go on defense here in a defensive posture. And he's got the crowd behind him now, Margarito. Let's see if Clottey starts opening up more offensively. Was he just playing possum there?
Clottey could be trying to make Margarito punch himself out, and Margarito is throwing a lot of punches that are wasted here.
You're right. I think that's what's on the mind here of Joshua Clottey. But remember, Clottey has had problems with stamina and fatigue later in fights, so maybe he's conserving his energy here as well.
We're certainly giving away round 5.
A lunging right. That's a very dangerous right hand by Joshua Clottey. He just led with his right. He didn't jab his way in. And he was very fortunate Margarito didn't counter.
Well, big comeback round, certainly for Antonio Margarito, primarily because Clottey has simply done nothing offensively. Is all this sound and fury signifying nothing, or is Antonio Margarito hurting and wearing down Clottey? Well, shook his head, no, he must have heard me.
Clottey. You just saw that, yeah. I think this is part of Clottey's strategy, but it's not going to win him the round. But he's thinking maybe in the big picture it may win him the fight.
That's a nice uppercut by Margarito. Some of these punches you're getting in.
5 seconds.
There's a good right hand here towards the end of the round by Joshua Clottey. And we invite you to text message your predictions on the Cotto Quintana fight to us here at Showtime. If you think the fight will end in less than 8 rounds, text the number 1 to SHOTV. Or if you think the fight will last 8 rounds or more, text the message 2 to SHOTV. Standard text messaging rates apply.
I left my cell phone in the oh, wait, I can't do this. All right.
Miguel Cotto in the dressing room. They see him up on the big screen right now, so the crowd reacting. He's getting ready to meet Carlos Quintana for the vacant WBA welterweight belt as he moves up in weight. So things really getting interesting here now. Margarito, of course, took that last round as we head into round number 6, scheduled for 12, as Clottey just played defense and looked to be conserving energy. Let's see how he responds here in the 6th.
Margarito told us yesterday, most fights are won in the gym with your conditioning. Well, guess what? That's going to be a big factor now because he's had to throw a lot of punches and is being extended into these rounds. We'll see.
And as we said, Clottey used to run 12 miles a day. He has cut it back to 6. So therefore, you would think he'd be tremendously conditioned.
Clottey in a more offensive posture now, looking to land punches in this round. Let's see how he does.
Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Steve, let's take a look. Joshua Clottey complained to his trainer about his left hand being injured in between rounds. Back to you.
All right, Jim will keep a close watch on that as Clottey is pinned in his own corner.
Well, Joshua Clottey cannot win this fight without his left hand. I guarantee you, if it is injured, he can't throw those hooks to the body. And then if it is injured, that last round may have not just been a ploy, it may have been his way of surviving.
And now we may have gotten the answer as to why that took place.
That would be a shame for Joshua Clottey if that's what turned this fight around for him. And a big break for Antonio Margarito, who is
struggling, to say the least. Good left hand there on the uppercut by Margarito inside. And Clottey uses his right hand. He has not used the left in a while. Throwing evidence that there may be some damage to the left hand.
Watch your head in it.
Yeah, he's pawing with that left hook, so it's conceivable that injury is bothering him, whatever it may be.
Terrible shape.
Watch your head, Junior.
Margarito coming forward. These are not the heaviest of punches. Yeah, again, a pawing left hand by Clottey. Not a lot behind that.
He's afraid to throw that punch. You can almost feel it. And Margarito doing what he should do, taking advantage of this lack of activity by Clottey, and he's just ripping away, which is what Margarito does.
So, of course, Margarito is not aware of that, of Clottey's problem, but Clottey, a one-handed fighter, it seems, right now.
And, you know, I talked about the distance. Clottey's right in a position to throw that hook to the body and the head, which he did earlier. And there is the punch.
5 seconds.
Hassan Addy is our translator in the Clottey corner.
Get my left hand. My left hand. I'm in the pain. My left hand.
You have to throw it. You don't throw it. Might as well don't stay there. You're getting punched. You know what I mean?
Okay, now, I know you got your left hand, but I want you to use your right. Use the right. Use the right.
Feint the jab. Feint the left hand and come back with the right hand.
Okay? Use the right. Use the right.
So Jim Gray had it right about the left.
This is a rough break for Joshua Clottey, who was just superb over those first 4 rounds.
Just an awful break, a tragic turn of events for Joshua Clottey, particularly knowing how he started out this fight. Let's see if he can get by with just the right hand.
He did throw a jab there, and obviously, you know, when your hand is hurt, you'll throw it if you can, hoping not to injure it more. You have to show it to your opponent at the very least. And the part about this is Clottey just relies on that punch so much. The left is his major weapon. He has a decent right and was landing it earlier, but that's his money punch. So.
And Al, unofficially along press row, Bernard Fernandez, the Philadelphia Daily News, Tim Graham from the Buffalo News, and Jose Sanchez from El Nuevo Dia. Jose has it even. The other two have it for Clottey, but that lead is eroding.
I have it 58-56 for Clottey, as do 2 of the ringside judges.
Low blow by Clottey. He may be resorting to this now.
He's giving time to Margarito to shake it off. No point being deducted, I don't believe, which would be very appropriate not to get the point at this point.
Keep it clean, all right?
Yeah, because we didn't see any previous warnings for that particular violation.
Time in.
Of course, he had 5 minutes to recover.
Margarito is a very busy fighter, and he continues to be busy in this fight. Of course, now with less coming back from Clottey, Margarito's having good rounds here. Margarito himself not totally accurate with all these punches, and the defense of Clottey's still pretty decent.
When Margarito just missed by an inch with a straight right hand, Clottey just dodged it at the last second.
There's 2 good left hooks from Clottey, so he's picking his spots to throw that punch.
There it is again, the double left hook by Joshua Clottey. Nice uppercut on the inside by Margarito. Margarito chasing Clottey back to the ropes, who spins him around.
Well, you can feel the shift in this fight. It's so dramatic and so obvious that since that injury, Clottey has just not been able to do enough offensively, and Margarito does what he does, which is be a very aggressive fighter. Look how Margarito's squaring himself up. That stuff Clottey was taking advantage of in the first 4 rounds. Now he's not.
And the crowd must be wondering, because they don't know about Clottey's left-hand injury, what has happened to Joshua Clottey. Maybe they just think he's run out of gas. But there's a good left hand by Clottey despite the problem. To the head. He's got 2, 3 in a row there to the jaw of Margarito. The right side of Margarito's face getting very red.
Well, it's a good round for Margarito, but Clottey has done his work, and there's a low blow by Margarito. So it's...
Okay.
And there's the bell.
Use your right. Use your right. Use your right. Where is the water? Use more of the right. Use your right. You can try with the left, but try and use most of the right. Use more of the right.
All right, we get the message in that corner. This is where that's very low from Clottey. And, of course, that was when they gave some time to Margarito. And the left hand, while he could use it sparingly, did use that punch a little bit. You see how he's slapping with it, though, and that's part of the problem. And then Margarito will get in his low blow, left hook that also strays south of the border.
Almost like a broken record, Al. Kwame Asante in the corner of Clottey. His trainer just repeating, use the right. He doesn't have much recourse. Apparently his left hand is damaged, although he did unleash it a couple of times and effectively in that last round.
Margarito using that jab, which he wants to use. It's a very important weapon for him in this fight. And now it's been effective.
Trying to keep Clottey at bay.
Well, the other part that's too bad about this injury is it's kind of affected the action of this fight in terms of its appealing nature. Good body shots by Margarito.
And now Clottey coming back with both hands. Disregarding his trainer's instructions, he is still using the left. He used it again just now.
Good body work by Margarito. He has done a good job working downstairs in this round.
Well, that's what he's known for, the accumulative effect. He breaks you down, he wears you down. It takes a little more time than perhaps some people would like, but he ultimately gets it done. Oh, nice pushing left hook to the neck. And then on the inside, uppercuts to the body by Margarito.
Now, what Clottey is abandoning is the right uppercut. There it is. It worked for him early.
But some fantastic exchanges here on the inside. A right hand by Joshua Clottey.
That ring is no place for the faint of heart right now.
Some furious exchanges.
Both men doing some very good work.
Clottey showing he is a warrior. Some people would have thrown in the towel after hurting their left hand like that.
Nice hook by Clottey. Gets in. Margarito's been more active in these last couple rounds, which is why he's probably winning them, but Clottey is doing some very good work.
The hand speed of Clottey, 2 or 3 unanswered lefts, followed by a right by Joshua Clottey. Again, the warning from Benji Estevez to Clottey, watch the heads. Clottey missing with a wild left. And there's blood now coming from the right ear of Antonio Margarito, which is intriguing because his last fight in Atlantic City against a guy named Andres Lujan, he basically ripped Lujan's ear off in the fight.
A try for a big counter uppercut by Clottey. He's pinning his hopes now on that right ad. Look, there it is. As Margarito comes and bends in. That's now something Clottey will pin his hopes on, that punch.
What a round for Clottey, despite his woes.
Here. The same way. Left and right. Side him with the left and use the right. Eat the chin. It's just rubbing your body like a baby.
Despite his hand issue, Clottey was in the mix in that last round, blasting away with a double left hook and then a straight right hand. And he was able to get some things done against Margarito. Margarito very aggressive during the course of that round, but things like that counter right landing for Clottey. And there's a big punch for Clottey. As Margarito bends in, that counter right is there for Clottey, and he's going to use that punch more and more, Steve, as this fight wears on.
If indeed, Al, this is a legitimate left-hand problem for Clottey, he is putting on a very brave and courageous exhibition.
That was an interesting and a pivotal round in that last round, and who you decided to give it to could go a long way toward deciding this fight if it goes to decision. More activity for Margarito.
Let's go.
Maybe a few more effective punches for Clottey, but Margarito had himself a good round, too. Look at that up, that right counter uppercut. That's Clottey's ticket in this fight, and he knows it. He's a smart fighter. He found it, and he's going to keep using it.
Right uppercut there by Joshua Clottey that stunned Antonio Margarito.
And the reason he can land is Margarito falls in when he throws some of these punches. Clottey's going back to that left hand. Good body work by Margarito. This is a really good welterweight fight.
Here's the press row scoring through 8 rounds. Bernard Fernandez has it even. Clottey ahead on Tim Graham's card by 4 points, and then Jose Sanchez has Margarito ahead by 2.
I have it a draw right now, but I can see how you can have varied scoring. A couple of very close rounds, especially that last round.
Very. There's a left hook that scores to the head by Joshua Clottey.
Clottey's having himself a pretty good round here, and he's landing that right hand with impunity. There's Margarito's uppercut, which he has a good one, as you pointed out, on the inside.
There he tries it again. Now Margarito marching forward. He's got Clottey on the ropes, not where Clottey wants to be. And now he turns Margarito around and holds on.
Margarito squaring himself up to Clottey, but I think the body work of Margarito has tired Joshua Clottey.
Clottey's got to be careful here. He has nowhere to go. And this does not impress the judges. Joshua Clottey in difficulty here in his own corner. He's been down only once in his pro debut.
Boy, he should not be staying in that corner, as you point out.
It's a very dangerous place to be. Unless, once again, he's playing possum.
Comes off the ropes.
He is fighting well off the ropes. Boy, what a gutsy guy, Joshua Clottey. Margarito trying to finish him off, and he is a very good closer.
Brilliant right hand to the body by Margarito. I think Margarito's smothering his punches a little bit, though. And now let's see. Clottey's going to get through this round.
Again, the attack by Margarito as we head for the bell.
You can? My hands. Use the right. Use the right. Forget about the left. Forget about it. My finger is broken. Just use the little left and then the right.
Okay, one more round.
Give me the water. Give me the water.
Okay? Try to hit him with the right hand.
You can hear through our translator, Al-Hassan Addy, that Clottey said, "My finger is broken."
You know, his idol is Ike Porte, who he sparred with over many years. His style resembles Porte. It's ironic they're both fighting on the same night. This is a very good textbook effort by Clottey when his hand was working. Now he is so pained with that left hand that he can't do all the things technically he wants to, but showing a lot of grit and determination to hang in there against a murderous puncher. And Margarito's landed some very big shots in this fight.
You look at Margarito's face, he certainly looks like he is not the winner of this fight, no matter how this comes out. His ear bleeding, his face reddening.
Now let's point out that for Margarito, with only that very short time against a round and a half against Manuel Gomez, or less than a round, here he is now well into this fight after having only fought that in a year. Let's give him a lot of credit for being in the condition to throw these many punches, Margarito, and hang in there.
Yeah, he's a warrior too. He's smiling. He's telling Clottey that he's not hurting him. He's a tough kid too.
Clottey's hands are very low on the outside. That's a bad idea for him.
It's also a bad sign. It's a sign of fatigue.
And I don't even think he wants to get hit on that left hand, even to block a punch.
So now Clottey has gone into a running mode.
And that's not what he is. He's not a fancy boxer.
Let's go. Both of you.
G. Estevez has certainly had his hands full tonight.
You'll recall earlier in this match, the hands of Clottey very high. Now, of course, they're very low.
The heads come together. Clottey lunging in.
Let's go. Time in. No cut. Let's go. Watch your heads, all right? Come on.
I'm amazed.
Touch him up. Fight him clean.
No point deductions.
Let's go. Just keep it clean in there.
There have been a number of warnings for each guy.
This a tough round for Clottey because he's doing something he doesn't really normally do. Boxing on the outside. Can't jab effectively because his left hand hurts. Although that one got in. So this is a tricky round for Clottey, and Margarito pressuring as he always does. Clottey landed a counter right hand a moment or two ago, but for the most part it's the Joshua Clottey Invitational track meet in this round.
Clottey has had this problem since the 5th round, and you hear the crowd reaction, but of course they don't know why he's doing this.
No punch in the back of the head. Let it go. Let it go. Let him go now.
It has been a courageous performance by Joshua Clottey, even though he's getting booted.
Move around. Jab a little bit. Don't punch too hard with the left. Punch hard with the right. Walk around. When you get a chance, and throw the right.
Yeah, let the doctor go.
Keep going? Do you want to fight? You want to fight? Okay, fine.
You want to fight?
Now they're asking Clottey if he wants to continue. You saw one of the ringside physicians in there also questioning Clottey. He nods his head positively. He wants to continue.
You know, the game plan now kind of is for them to have him on the outside, paw with a jab and throw right hand. There's another way to go about this, and that is for him to stay on the inside. Oh, nice hook by Clottey. For him to stay on the inside where he can land that little counter right hand. So, you know, there's two schools of thought at work here, or could be.
What appears to be an extremely close fight.
Whatever happens in this fight, Joshua Clottey is deserving at some point in life of another opportunity at a world championship. You have to say that.
Here's a look at press row. Shows you how close this thing is. One guy has it even. One for Clottey, one for Margarito.
Very tricky. I've got Margarito now ahead by 2 points. But again, you could see a wide variance in the scoring. But we have 2 more rounds left, of course, for somebody to take further control. Now, this is a close round right now. Clottey has been a little more active than he was in the last couple of rounds.
The winner of this fight is obligated to take on the #1 mandatory, Paul the Punisher Williams,
who's a very, very talented fighter who has often been compared with Tommy Hearns at a young age. Look at how Margarito squares himself up. Clottey should be able to take advantage of that, but has not been able to in the last round or two like he was earlier in the fight.
Rumor has it that Williams gave Margarito fits in sparring sessions. There's a right hand followed by left and another right by Joshua Clottey. And a good body shot with the left hand by Margarito. And that backs Clottey up.
Look at Margarito just square himself up. That is a serious flaw. And there's the head again being used by Clottey. At a certain point, you have to ask yourself whether that's intentional or not.
Benji Estevez didn't do anything about it. And he seemed to be looking right at it. He may have said something to Clottey. I couldn't tell.
It's a pivotal round, but the activity of Margarito makes it very tough to score it for Clottey, though Clottey did some good work early in the round.
But Clottey's certainly not running around or dancing. I don't think he enjoyed the crowd reaction. And he's just not that kind of fighter, so he's sticking it out here.
Antonio Margarito is winning this round. He might well be on his way to winning this fight. His strategic and technical liabilities, though, don't bode well for him in future fights. He makes himself too easy a target to people. He has defensive problems that can be exploited.
Yeah, if he gets in there with a guy like, Williams or even down the road, Cotto, could be exposed. Or Quintana.
Move, eh? Don't worry, just go around. Okay?
Last round, baby. Last round.
When you jab and move your head and use the right. My answer.
There have been a number of clashes.
Don't stop for it. You got to move.
Is it intentional or not? In round 10, wow, that looked fairly intentional by Joshua Clottey, especially when you see it from that angle. And then in round 11, that scene would repeat itself. And we'll take a look. Now that, to me, was just him punching his way in, and then the head kind of blasted off to the right.
Now this is interesting, Al. Margarito's been 12 rounds only once in his career. He's 1-0. Beat Danny Perez in 0-2. Clottey 2 times. He's 2-0 versus Gutierrez. His last fight, a majority decision. He looked very good, Clottey. And a fellow named Marciano Comey back in 1995. So both do not have a heck of a lot of experience going the distance 12 rounds.
Margarito has been active throughout all these 12 rounds. So this is a young man who, with that layoff, at age 28, after 13 years of boxing, shows his dedication by doing the work necessary to be able to throw punches for 12 rounds. He is a true professional, and it stood him in good stead in this fight. Oh, a couple of low blows by Margarito, so his body work strays a little low. But that's the other thing about Margarito in this fight. He has really done good body work, as Clottey did early in the fight.
And press throw through 11. 2 out of 3 have Margarito, but look at the score by Sanchez. He's got Margarito up 5 points, and one guy has Clottey ahead. So you see the disparity.
I have Margarito by 3 right now. And again, it could vary a bit. Now, Clottey needs to do something dramatic here. And one of the possibilities is to try and lure Margarito in to throw that counter right that he was throwing earlier. But he's not throwing that punch very much. So you have to wonder also whether Clottey, discouraged, tired, just not in the mood, in the winning mode, more in the surviving mode.
Clottey started complaining of his injured left hand at round 5. He just wasn't the same, but boy, was he something through the first 4+ rounds.
Well, there was a nice nice combination by Clottey, but he's not able to throw those off. And, yeah, this is two different fights. Clottey over the first 4 rounds, I thought won every single round, and since then has not been the same fighter. Margarito has stayed busy throughout this fight.
And there were very anxious moments early on and towards the middle of the fight in the Margarito corner. They were worried. There was no question about it.
Come on. No talking, Tony. Let's go.
But things really changing, and we can only assume there's a left hand by Clottey, then a right uppercut on the inside by Clottey. Clottey at least trying to finish strong here. We can only assume it's all because of the injured left hand claimed by Clottey.
Clottey landed a pretty good counter right a moment or two ago. He's had a little bit of a better 12th round, but Antonio Margarito's work rate and punch output has probably won in this round as well. And you have to give a lot of props to Margarito for the fact he's able to stay busy through this whole fight.
And that's it. They embrace, show good sportsmanship. And the crowd showing its appreciation. Margarito is hoisted in the air. Did he defend his title? You see Clottey grimacing as they grab the left glove. I think Antonio Margarito relieved that this one is behind him, particularly the way it began.
All over with combination. My hand. Yeah.
Finger or hand?
Hand. That's all. Two. Other two. Both hands. Yeah. Where's the left hand?
Well, they got the left glove off now.
All right? Yeah, I'm all right. And then the right hand by the 7 inch. Your left hand in the forearm, and then your right hand in the...
And standing by is Carlos Quintana, getting ready for the biggest stage and biggest fight of his career. The southpaw getting his first shot at a world title against Miguel Cotto. You hear the crowd reaction again as they see Quintana up on the big screen in our second co-main event coming up. Cotto Quintana for the vacant WBA welterweight crown. Both Quintana and Cotto are undefeated, both from Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, we await the decision in our first co-main event. Antonio Margarito, who got off to a sluggish start in this fight, which is nothing new for him, but seemed even a little tougher under the circumstances. He hadn't fought in 10 months and had very little action in the last couple of years. So looks like we are set for the decision right now. So let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Eugene Grant, scores about 118 to 109. Judges John Stewart and Paul Venti both scored about 116 to 112. All three in favor of the winner. And still champion Antonio Tony Margarito.
Well, it was pretty clear that Margarito was pulling away from the 5th round on, and it turns out that he wins a unanimous decision over Joshua Clottey.
Yeah, I think 118-109, way too big a spread. I had a 116-112, as did the two other judges.
So Al, his 7th successful defense of the belt goes to 34-4 with 1 no contest. Meanwhile, Joshua Clottey unsuccessful in his first attempt at a world title. He falls to 29-2, his first loss since '99, snapping an 11-bout unbeaten streak. Tough night for Clottey, who got off to such a great start, but a shame that he injured his left hand seemingly, and it affected him throughout the rest of the fight. Coming up next, undefeated Miguel Cotto, who has proven himself at 140 pounds, looks to begin his march in another weight class tonight.